How you doing, brothers and sisters? Today had a little bit of a talk with my fellow brother, and it was pretty much about manipulation. You know how most of us are like chained down in our mind. Our mind, we can't really think for ourselves, even though we think we're thinking for ourselves, and the power of manipulation. So me and him, we just started discussing on how the manipulation starts from childhood. You know, start from childhood, depending who you are influenced by. You know, your parents, teachers, students, friends, media. It could be anything that is presented to us that has the power to manipulate us that we're not aware of. And it is. It's something that goes on for years and years and years. Even media, social media, is a manipulation. You know, my wife and I, we stopped watching the news after I told her, and we both agreed that the news has a way of manipulating people to respond a certain way towards the news. They will kind of turns us to feel differently towards people or certain color or whatever the news is about. So social media has the power of manipulating you, even like advertisement, movies, books too. A lot of stuff has the power to manipulate our minds, you know, and to a point where we think we're thinking for ourselves, but we're not thinking for ourselves because we're responding on what we're influenced by, that sometimes lead us to a certain direction that most likely have us choose an answer towards that direction. And at the same time, which wants us to choose yes or no on a certain path based on the information we receive in whatever we're observing, you know. So manipulation starts from childhood. No one is aware of it until you start, like, obviously being aware that, hey, how did I end up agreeing to that, you know? So, but that takes time. It's part of your growth of actually like studying your own being and being one with self, you know, because if you're not being one with yourself, then pretty much you're gonna be manipulated for the rest of your life to think a certain way that you think is right, but it's actually wrong. So, but I want to talk about this one individual, and I was talking to my fellow brother, the greatest manipulation is the spirit. You know, in the Bible, there's spirits, right? You have Jezebel's spirit, Balaam's spirit, and many others. But at this moment, I want to talk about Absalom. Absalom is the manipulator. Obviously, like the devil, Lucifer, how he manipulated Adam and Eve to eat the forbidden fruit, you know. It's all the power of manipulation. It's the mind manipulation, right? Presented to a certain way that you think that it's good and it's good for yourself, and it makes you take that action. And none of us is forced into that path. So it makes us think that we're deciding ourselves to walk in that direction and making that choice. But again, the devil doesn't have power over us. Lucifer doesn't have power over us to like control us unless we give it to it. Same thing with God. God is not going to force his way on you unless you allow him to. So we have free will, and our will is to know how to respond into circumstances based on what we know, you know. But how do you know if you know what you're doing? How do you know if you're not being manipulated to do something you think you're doing? So it's something that you have to go on your own journey and self-discovery and understand mind manipulation. Social media is manipulating. Someone could make, I don't know, could present a highlighter, right? And you know it's a highlighter, but someone who presents the highlighter could sell you this highlighter for a lot more and explain that this highlighter could do a lot more than what you normally have. It's how you manipulate people to believe that this highlighter could do wondrous of things more than a regular highlighter, you know? make it presenting really good. Oh, this is the magic highlighter, super awesome. It's a sales thing. It's a sales. It's like almost like being like a salesperson. That's why a lot of people don't like timeshare people, because they know how to manipulate you to buying a timeshare. You know you want it, you want to agree to it, you know it's good, so they make everything look very, very good. They don't care if you be able to afford it or not. They just want to sell the timeshare. So then you think you're doing something good, because with your mind, like myself, I'll be like, oh, I'm gonna think about my family, I'm gonna think about the future, I'm gonna do this, not really like processing it through and how it's gonna affect you in the long run. That's power manipulation. You think you're making that decision, but they kind of like presented it to look good, so you think you're making a good choice. But it's something you grow, it's something you start understanding. So I want to talk about Absalom. Absalom. He's like almost like Lucifer, like a child of Lucifer. The power of manipulating. You know, Absalom, he was the son of King David. And not everyone is aware of it, but King David had a broken household. His family wasn't right. He wasn't a good father. David wasn't a good father. He didn't really discipline his kids. He had too many kids, and then he had from different wives. So everything was just like going crazy in his house. There was no order. There was no control. And Absalom happened to be a child who had the ability to manipulate people. You know, he was the mastermind. You know, he knows how to make everything look good in his favor so he could get what he wants. You know, so, but if you really want to know about Absalom, I recommend you reading it. You have to start from 1 Samuel 12 to 1 Samuel 19. You got to read how Absalom became about and how Absalom is like a punishment for King David on what he did in before Samuel 12, you know. But I want to talk about Absalom. Absalom, he fled, and then he came back. He fled because he killed his brother. He killed his brother because his brother raped his sister. And so, and King David didn't really do anything about the situation. And then Absalom ran and hid. So it's a whole family problem, broken family, dude. So I recommend you reading it and you get a better understanding. But Absalom returned, and then when he returned, he was coming to take King David, his father's throne. And he had a way of manipulating people. He had a way of deceiving people and presenting himself like this perfect person that will find favor of people who came across him. So he looked beautiful outside, like his skin, his hair. He looked really dope. He looked like someone you could believe and trust, you know. But inside his heart, he was wicked, and inside his mind, he was wicked. But you won't know that. So one of the things that I want to share is that you got to read it. It's in Absalom 15, and I just want to move forward. It says Absalom behaved. Hold on, I'm gonna go 15:5. Also, whenever anyone approached him, he bowed down before him. Now check out what Absalom did. So right now, Absalom is this guy, and everyone who approached him, he kind of like stands between their path before they get to King David, and he tries to present himself to be like a mediator for them, for Israel. So Absalom, what he does to gain their favor, will reach out his hand and take a hold of him and kiss him, meaning whoever that person has come before him. So an Israelite will come to the path and he'll bow down to Absalom, and then Absalom will pretty much put his hand and kiss him on the forehead or whatever to show his passion and love for him and understanding how he really wants to take care of him. So right now he's making himself look good, but he has a hidden agenda. He has a secret agenda that no one's aware of. So he keeps doing this, and then he starts building up followers that way. He'd be finding favors of Israel. And then, so it says, Absalom behaved this way towards all the Israelites who came to the king asking for justice. So he stole the hearts of man of Israel. He stole the hearts of man of Israel. And then it continues on. So that's one time he stole. I'm gonna move down forward. 13. It says a messenger came to told David that the hearts of the men of Israel are with Absalom. You see? So now he had gained following, he gained favor of Israelite. Now he's gaining followers, and now it's giving Absalom the appearance of power, right? So check this out. I'm gonna go down to I want to show you how he uses people, innocent people, that they don't even know what's going on, because they see one thing, they understand one thing outwardly, but they don't know the secret agenda that Absalom has hidden in what he's doing. So, where we at? Hold on. Where is it? I don't know, it was 16. Like I said, this is a lot of chapters, and I'm trying to see the part where, oh, here we go. I'm gonna read 15:10 down. It says, then Absalom sent a secret messenger throughout the tribes of Israel to say, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpets, then say, Absalom is the king of Hebron. So now he's making people think he's king. 200 men from Jerusalem had accompanied Absalom. And then they had been invited as guests. Okay, Absalom invited them as guests and went quite innocently, knowing nothing about the matter. See? Absalom knows how to use people. So you think you're around this one person and he looks good outside and he says something towards you and you believe it, but he has a secret agenda and he's using you for his behalf. Not for your behalf, for his behalf. Innocently. You know what? There's a lot of Absaloms in this world. In our homes, in schools, social media, friends. It could be anyone. And unless you're aware of this individual, they could cause problems in your home. They really can. They could even cause problems in your life. It's like almost like say if you looking to invest, right? And then you have this one friend. It's like, look, this product is $10,000 investment. It's gonna skyrocket. I have proof right here. It's gonna make 100 grand next year. You should buy into this, right? And then so it has to go through him. So he's like, okay, here goes 10 grand. He takes your 10 grand. And then you think he invested it into that $100,000 thing, right? So he's the mediator. He's between you and the investment. So now you get him 10 grand, and he's gonna get you in there. And then what happens? You don't see the dude anymore. He just took your money. He just took your money. He took your 10 grand, and you thinking it's actually invested and is making some profit and making it work, and nothing is gonna happen. The guy is gonna be flee, or if he's still present, he said, "Oh, but it went south. I don't know what happened. It's, you know, sorry, man. It's a loss that we had to take. You know, it's a risk. It's a risky investment thing." But then secretly, he may have pocketed that 10 grand, never put it in, and you're not even aware of it. So people have the power to manipulate people, you know, and you have to be careful with these people, because these people could break your family and could turn your family against you and give false testimony or make it appear differently. They have the power. That's their ability. They're like Lucifer, the power of manipulation, manipulating people. It's happened in churches too. You know, people could make you feel guilty so you could give tithes, right? They could make you feel like you're convicted or sinner or whatever, and all you want to do is just please God, and they use that and they take your money and they make it under their favor, you know. And that right there is more like a Balaam spirit, you know, where they're using a communication with God, and then they make themselves rich in the process. you know, so they're taking the money of the people and they take it for themselves, you know. But anyways, so the Absalom spirit, you have to be careful, man. They're everywhere. They're everywhere, man. And you got to know when to shut them out. You got to shut them out, man, because if you don't shut them up, your home, whatever it is going to fall apart. So the power of manipulation, you have to be aware of it. They're everywhere, man. They're everywhere. And you have to keep an eye out for it, because if you're not keeping an eye out for it and you don't have the spirit to let you know, hey, there's an Absalom spirit here, be careful with this person. Be careful with this group of people. Be careful of this, what you're going to be involved in. You know, it's just, they're everywhere, man. They're everywhere, man. And you gotta be careful. You gotta know when to keep them out. Your main purpose is to maintain your household. Your foundation needs to stay strong. Your kingdom needs to stay strong, and you need to keep stuff out of your kingdom. You know, sometimes it might have to just separate yourself from people you've known for a long time. You know, but in the same time, your kingdom will prosper. Your kingdom will remain strong, and it won't fall apart because you're not allowing Absaloms and all that stuff into your kingdom. You know, you gotta keep them out. So anyways, I just wanted to share that, the Absalom spirit. I know about this. I've seen it. I have the ability to pick up spirits, you know, you can see the movement of spirits, you know, is in the characters. But you have this gift. When you study the word and you follow the Holy Spirit who guides you, who gives you mind to see, eyes to see, minds to think, and heart to feel, and ears to hear, you know how to spot these Absalom spirits, Jezebel spirits, Balaam spirits. There's a lot of spirits, man. And Jezebel's spirit is more like, she gets what she wants, no matter what cost it is. It's what I want. That's the Jezebel spirit. It doesn't matter how much it'll cost and what will be broken in the process. That's what happens. But Absalom, be careful. Be careful with Absalom. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. You gotta be careful. They're in the church, they're in schools, they're in media, they're in politics, they're in marketing. You know, they're everywhere. Salespeople, they're everywhere. You know, so you gotta be careful with these people, man. I love you, brothers and sisters. God bless.